I'm Heather Lockett, and this is Lasting Conversations. Today we have a special guest in the studio who is visiting from Italy. Welcome, Nikki Di Girolamo.
Hi.
Hi. I'm really, really excited that we are finally meeting in person, and especially from across the pond, as they say. This is kismet that all stars are aligned, that we get to do this. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
Now, maybe we'll start there. What has brought you to the States? Because I know you're working on a very, very special project in Abruzzo, Italy. And so let's go ahead and start there. And it's going to get into your journey and a spiritual journey. And this is also why I'm so excited, because I have seen this project online in Abruzzo, and the land calls me. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's restorative. And I can't wait to dust off my passport and come. So tell us why you're here in the States.
Super. Well, actually, I'm over here because I'm talking to some investors about investing in this village. And what we've got is this amazing a 25-acre plot of it's an actual approved village. Now, in America, you can get zoned and you can do things like this, and it's pretty easy. In Italy, it's pretty near impossible. It's got to go through 42 different agencies to get approved, and it actually took 10 years. So it's the only approved village of its kind in Italy.
It's a labor of love. And tell us the name of this village.
Well, we're going to call it Visionary Village, and it's because it's all about helping people. So it's got a commercial side and also an altruistic side.
So explain a little bit more of the vision. The vision is you're building community. You're building this restorative site that will help people relax, rejuvenate, find themselves, perhaps awaken their spiritual side. And tell us more.
Okay, well, basically, this land is actually consecrated and it is unbelievably beautiful, and the energy is incredible. It's actually overlooked by the Church of the Mother Mary. Now, this is a very special church. This church is miles away from anywhere, and it was actually built in the 11th century because the Mother Mary appeared to this a shepherd on the hill. And she said, build us a church here. And so she built this church, was, as I say, miles away from here, and it actually overlooks the whole of our valley, overlooking the village. And there's a lot of things connected with Mother Mary as well. She was actually seen in the 16th century by the whole of the village. And there's a plaque and
the
things.
Whole townspeople.
Yeah, the whole townspeople, they actually saw her, in the 16th century.
Okay. As a vision.
Well, yes, as a vision, as a, I don't know how they saw her. Actually.
Apparition, angel, yes.
But I know that they all came out of the village and rushed over to have a look at her, right. As one does when Mother Mary appears.
Better come take a look.
Yeah, let's go. Mother Mary's just appeared. So obviously it's not a very normal occurrence,
right?
And so it was written down in all of the in all of the historic documents and things, and there's actually a plaque there where she was actually appeared. Wow. And it's a very special place actually where she appeared. Sometimes when you go there, you actually find amazing things happen. I was in with one of my friends, and I was walking there, and I was showing her this place, you see, and I said, well, this place, often you don't see anything, feel anything, so don't be worried if you don't feel anything. Right. So we were walking down the road, because it's actually on the side of a road, and suddenly I'm crying my eyes out whenever a big spirit or something comes in, and that's what happens. So here's me sort of talking to her, and suddenly I'm in floods of tears.
Bursting into tears, yeah.
And then literally 24 of these gold butterflies, real gold butterflies, comes flying out from behind this bush. And we're both looking at that. And I said to her, are you seeing this?
Wow.
And I said, yes. She said, yes, I'm seeing this as well. And we both couldn't believe it because they were literally shining gold. And they went round where she was seen, and then they went off down the road. And we were both just sort of standing in the middle of the road going, OMG. Wow. So it's a very special place.
And how long ago was that? Have you been part of this visionary project for the 10 years? Or?
Oh, yes, wow. Yes. No, it was, I knew that was what I was going to do. That was even before I was awakened. So when I actually built it, originally it was just going to be a normal, touristy village. Mm-hmm. But then I was awakened, and then it became what the project is today, which is all about helping people. So how we do this is that in the summertime and the high season, it's all about, Italian tourism. So people come here, they have a wonderful time. There's swimming pools and mountains and seas.
The pool itself, it's an infinity pool. It's extraordinary. It's completely extraordinary. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we designed it especially sort of into the hillside. So that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so in the medium and the low season, it's all about helping different sections of the community. So take autism. Say, for example, the 1st of May would always be Autism Week. So people who had autistic children and things could come to this place. Mm-hmm. And they would, with the parents, and the parents would learn all the latest techniques in how to cope with autism and things like that. They'd have a fabulous holiday. The kids would be looked after by facilitators, and they would be able to come back every year and have a holiday and also learn about how to cope with this thing.
So you'd have practitioners to help facilitate what they need to do.
Yes.
What they need to learn and experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It would be obviously, we would run the actual retreat as in the fact that we would say, okay, today there's a, you're going to be talking about something, but the actual course itself will be run by people directly affected by the autism or whatever we were going to do. And obviously one of the main things would also be spirituality. We'd have 2 of those a year.
Right.
So people can come and learn, how to connect more, what the latest techniques are and things like that, and also experience the most amazing energies that there are around here. I mean, when you do meditations in this village, it's blow your socks off stuff.
So share a little bit about that. What have been some of your experiences? Well, you told us about the butterflies. And the other question I have, and maybe it swirls into the same thing, is here you're living in Italy with a British accent. And so tell us that part of the journey of how you came to live in Italy and you were just drawn. This was clearly part of your own awakening journey.
Yeah, well, I had a rather strange journey anyway. But
haven't we all?
No, I know.
A strange ride.
Yeah, well, I mean, 10 years ago, you and I would not have even been talking. I would have been very happy with I'm accepting of anybody's ideas and things like that. But spirituality or anything to do with that was not even on my radar. Mm-hmm. So I actually met my husband 32 years ago. And he was Italian. Mm-hmm. So I've been married to him now for 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you. But I knew 2 days after I met him that I was going to marry him. And I obviously did.
Yes.
And then about 4 years ago, it's actually, 4 years, nearly 5 years now, I went to what I thought was a management conference. And it was actually sort of management with a lot of spirituality in.
Okay.
So we had this thing called the blocks game. And basically, there was 5 of us in our group. And there was a very amazing energy around there. But to cut a long story short, because I obviously... Mm-hmm. We created this vortex in our little group, and I go flying up into the top of the room, and I'm looking down on all these people, and I can see they're all different colours and all sorts of things, and I think that this is perfectly normal.
Was that your first time, or
that was? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I did not know what a chakra was. I did not know what anything to do with anything was, because I was just a entrepreneur, okay, where's the money?
Work a day woman.
Yes, absolutely. And so here I was sort of flying around the room. And then I had this voice, but it was coming through me. Okay. And it said, what would you like to know? And that sort of threw me because I knew it wasn't a real voice. It was something that was literally coming through my whole body. So I thought, oh, and rushed back down to my body. And as I came down, I could see, various people's auras. I could see who was ill, who wasn't ill. I could feel energies to an incredible degree. I mean, so much so it had me hiding behind a cement pillar.
My goodness. So you had this instantaneous kablam of an awakening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently it's called a Satori awakening.
Okay.
And so from one day to the next, you just go from one to the other. And then everybody says, oh, it's going to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
But mine sort of never did. I then started having visitations from other people's spirit guides to find out what was I doing. And so I had quite interesting conversations with them, in the middle of, driving a car. Yeah. And then I had all sorts of really amazing sort of, one stage I was actually driving my car and I was suddenly out of my body and I'm in the stratosphere. And I'm thinking, oh my God, have I gone crazy? What on earth is happening here? So I rushed, I could see myself driving below and I was in traffic, and I was thinking, what the? Anyway, so I zoomed back down to my body. And so I'm talking to spirit. I'm saying, look, I'm feeling really as if I'm sort of losing my mind a bit here.
Yeah.
So they said, well, I said, I'm going to need proof as to, that this is real and I'm not losing my mind.
Right.
And they said, okay, so what do you want to know? I says, well, okay, I want to know when my aunt's going to die. And as you know, nobody knows when people are going to die.
Ultimately, this is very correct. Had she even been ill, or that was a question that just came to you to ask?
Well, she was 92 years old, so she was obviously going to die at some stage.
Mm-hmm.
Quite thing. She had a cold. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know what made it say. It just came to me.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, they said, oh, she's going to die on next Monday, which was Easter Monday, and this was 7 or 8 days beforehand. So anyway, I said, okay, let's see. So anyway, my daughter, I live in Italy. My daughter was in England. She phoned up and she was actually coming the week after. And she says, she calls up and she says, look, I hear Zialina's not very well. Should I come over earlier? And I said, yeah, if you want to see her alive, you need to come over this week. So anyway, she puts the phone down, talks to everybody else. She calls me back. She says, no, everybody says that's a load of rubbish. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to keep my flight as it is. So anyway, to cut a long story short, Monday comes around. It's 6 o'clock in the evening and I go down. They have this apartment below our apartment. So I go down there and I go into the kitchen and there's all of these spirits looking around. It's walking, talking and things around in the kitchen. I mean, it's full. And they turn to me and they look at me and they say, oh, who's this? Because a lot of them didn't know me. And some of them said, oh, that's Michele's English wife. And then they sort of carried on talking and whatever. So I go into where she's dying and there's a couple of spirits in there, but not half as many as there are in the kitchen. And so anyway, I think, oh, she's going to die now. And so I stay a bit more and nothing's happening, same old. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go back up. I thought, well, I was wrong. So I go back up, sit down on the settee and the phone rings and she died. She died at 11 p.m. on the Monday.
On the Monday.
Yeah.
Wow. So. And have you been visited by this auntie?
Oh, yes, I have actually. So a couple of days later, we've had the funeral and I'm driving along in my little car, again, in quite a lot of traffic. And she comes in and I always thought that spirits were all sweetness and light.
Yeah, no. So, not always.
So anyway, no, she was not a happy bunny because my children are not been to the funeral because they were coming the week afterwards.
Okay.
And she says, why were your kids not at the funeral? And I said, look, I'm really sorry. As you know, they're coming in the next few days, so they'll definitely go and, and visit your grave and things like that. So I got told off.
And was she always kind of a little ornery in her
She was to me.
time?
She didn't like me very much.
Oh, well, so she was still giving you a what for from beyond.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And my mother-in-law still visits as well. And I get on really well with her. She sort of dragged her back.
Wow. So you've been in Italy for a while. You're with your wonderful husband, and now you are living full time in the village, the visionary village. How about tell us a bit, while Italy was front and center during Corona and that your project had to have standstill, how was that? Was it actually a going in process like it was for many of us? We had to just literally go back inside to ourselves, not only our homes. Has it reshaped the project? Was it a scary time? Tell us about that while Italy needed to do its thing in the last couple of years.
Well, for me, it was actually a beautiful time. I was on my own. I loved it. I was in the village. I could sort of come, because it was a business, I could come between that and where I actually lived in, which is in Pescara. I usually do half and half.
Okay. And Pescara, is that on the beach?
Yes, that's on the beach. It's about 30 minutes away. So I was living my best life, peace and things like that. But for the business, it was terrible because I couldn't make some of the payments on some of the loans because, of course, we were totally closed down.
Yes.
And in Italy, you just do not get financial help. I think I got sort of $2,000 dollars or whatever, which was absolutely ridiculous considering the whole season was
so there weren't any safety nets, loan forgivenesses, things like that.
No,
really
because
had
these
to make
were
their way.
Yeah, because this was a private loan and things like that.
Right.
But hopefully I've got some people who might want to invest. And obviously if anybody out there would like to invest, or feels called to, that's the most important.
That is exactly it for any of our projects. Who's called to be in partnership, in a great partnership that's the best currency. You start with the heart and the calling, and then you see who you ride with.
Absolutely.
Financially and in every other way. So I'm going to talk about your cats and Alfred, who has passed on, but he was one of your favorite cats, and you have many cats, farm cats on that property. Let's talk about your kitties that are there.
Well, yeah.
And your buddy Alfred. I know. I know.
Alfred was a beautiful Siamese, and Alfred went missing. So I let with my cats, I let them outside and things like this. And there's a lot of stray cats around. But Alfred was absolutely beautiful and unbelievably beautiful with these incredible blue eyes. But unfortunately, he just went missing. And then after a while, I knew that he'd died. So that was really sad. So I have a lot of these stray cats, and again, you don't get any help with spaying them or anything like that. So I'm trying to make it into this sort of colony where at least you can get them spayed. So what happened was there's one of the stray cats that actually came. It was a black cat. It's really weird. I keep getting black cats or black dogs. But anyway, she came to me and sort of chose me. And I wanted her to have a litter before I spayed her, and she actually had 7, and I thought we were only supposed to get 2. So I actually was keeping one of the sort of tiger type striped ones, but somebody actually stole it. So what?
Oh my goodness!
What actually happened was that I am actually left with 3 black cats. So I don't know what that means, but I've got 3 black cats, and they're the most loving things. I mean, they welcome me when I come in. They sit on me. If I go and lie on the bed, they'll be all around me. They're amazing.
Wow. It feels like they're just taking care of you.
Yes, absolutely. So
being all warm and cozy and helping you through whatever this next phase is.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's a very it's certainly testing me, let's just say that. But as you know, a lot of things are not that easy.
Exactly, right.
Especially if you want to do something.
So Nepal, do you have a special trip coming up in the spring?
Yes, we've got a superb trip coming up in Nepal. It's for Holi. Holi is the Hindu festival. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're not Hindu, we're spiritual, but it's very, very interesting.
Which still counts.
Well,
it all counts.
Absolutely.
All of it counts.
It's all about, finding, your next level spiritually. So we've got all these incredible situations that we go to. And one of them is obviously the Holi, where we throw paint at everybody. But obviously the spiritual aspects behind it. We're actually led by a Nepalese yoga master. And so he's from Nepal, so he knows all the ins and outs and things. So he actually explains to us all the different things that we're going to see. So we're going to see places where some of the sadhus have actually obtained samadhi, mm-hmm. which is very, very strong energy, obviously, there. We're going to some of the very famous temples. One of them has a 97 linga, and these are all directed at different chakras, and they really can propel you to the next level. We've got various ceremonies that we can go to. One of them that you can obviously go to or not go to, depending on what you think, is actually a death ceremony where the people who have died actually cremated and things like that. And it's the actual ceremony and how their souls leave the body, and you can actually see.
So you can watch and be learning that cultural experience.
Absolutely.
And that religious experience.
Yeah.
If people choose to
participate in that one. Yeah, absolutely. Right. The other ones are much more sort of soft. They're we're going to be in the presence of various sadhus. Mm-hmm. So again, that's incredible when these people, when you're in their presence, because their whole presence is sort of like an amplifier. Mm-hmm. It amplifies your connection. So,
spirit and presence and light and
your connection, your personal connection with the divine. Mm-hmm. We've also got various what are they called? Shamans, the Nepalese shamans, and they're going to take us on a spirit journey over there as well. And then it's also an adventure, because you can't just do spiritual, 24/7.
Right. Are you going to ride elephants or trek in the woods?
Absolutely. We're going to this amazing nature park where we're going to do ride on elephants. We're going to see the tigers. We're going to go in these jeeps through these waters. We're actually going to do white water rafting for people who want to.
Wow.
We're going to go to this place called Pokhara, and this has got an amazing lake, and it's actually surrounded by all the Himalayas. So at sunset, we're actually going to go out on these canoes and do this amazing sound bath meditation in the middle of the lake.
Well, you're speaking my language, because I love sound baths, and I'm feeling that energy already, imagining the lake and the water, which is a conduit also for spirit and energy. That's extraordinary. When is this trip?
It's on the 4th of March of next year, and prices start at $999.
That's it?
Yep.
Wow. How many people are joining your journey?
Only about 12. We're keeping it small because obviously it's about people's, it's a labor of love again. It's all about people's direct connection with the divine. So we're going to be putting people in different situations to see if those resonate with them. So we're going to be using various frequencies and things like that. And as you're going around these various spiritual sites, so some things that will, resonate with some people will not resonate with others. So it's all about helping people have this better connection.
Well, that sounds so beautiful. And first of all, the adventure and stepping out of comfort zone stepping out of our workaday world, and to have even just taking a flight, getting out of town and having a new journey, plus the trek and the jungles and these experiences that really, really sounds like medicine. It just sounds like medicine. And that's really fantastic.
Yeah, because one of them's a healing as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're actually going to be having a healing with one of these sadhus. So that's going to be really exciting.
Okay, good. And what else how do you see your next vision for yourself? And if it's part of Abruzzo, is it part of something even deeper, as a matter of fact?
Well, my whole sort of pathway, now that I've been awakened and been told what my pathway is, which is very lucky because lots of people are not told, it's all about building this village and but really concentrating on the individual people and actually helping the individual people. So anybody who comes needs to be helped. It's not just, a lot of people say, oh, come on, you'll be helped in this way or you'll be helped in that way. But it's the real, we really want to sort of help people and things like that, because there's so much difficulty, as you know, in the world.
Right.
Any sort of help that people can get, for me, is wonderful.
And so someone, even if they're just feeling, because I've seen photos of the apartments, so you can rent long-term, short-term. If someone feels they need a rest, they need their own R&R, they might want to write something. Have that come through. Tell us about some of your guests, not by name, of course, but some of your guests who have stayed and what their experiences have been. Without, we all can't fly around in a vortex until we do. But most of it, the awakening can come by having a good night's rest and a sleep, enjoying the food, and you have the local Italian villages. And
we have
that is an awakening in itself, to enjoy life. So tell us some about your guests and some of their own experiences.
Okay, well, during the winter, we actually we rent the apartments out for a month. And it's very, very restful. It's in the middle of nature. There's not many people around. It's a beautiful energy. So in the evening, people can light candles, do meditations, that sort of thing.
Do they eat together or in their own apartments usually?
A bit of both. Okay, so often they go out together. At the moment, we've got 3 different apartments rented. We actually have 5 altogether, and they, they've just been to the beach together, for example, yesterday, and I saw all the photos and things like that. And then they went out for dinner. And then sometimes they eat in each other's apartments, and sometimes we all eat together if I'm there, because I'm there sort of half of the time. We usually do a meditation, and that is usually really special. I'm getting better. I'm getting quite good, I think, at those sort of things, because I really love them. I can actually see things happening with people. I can actually see what they're seeing now. So that's really super.
That is next level.
Yeah,
that is next level.
It's beautiful. But I'm not a teacher. So, I'm just here to help facilitate.
You're a facilitator.
Yes.
Yeah. And a conduit. Bringing people together.
Yeah. So that they can be, we have a lot of different people as well who come, who are teachers. And we've got a shaman as well, a real one, who comes quite often. So often he's there. He comes from America. He's a native American Indian. And that's really beautiful when he's there, because obviously you feel I have a lot more. And we actually had a lady who came. She was a friend of mine. She was religious, not spiritual. And she did a meditation with us, and she actually saw more than everybody else.
Well, there it is. It all eventually comes to the same thing. If we call a flower spiritual or a sunrise is spiritual, a child is a spirit. And the religion adds the different flavors and textures and chapters. But honestly, being together is the spirit. So that's really cool. So she was having experiences. So there you go. And I'm sort of team blending and not necessarily labeling one to the next, although I completely understand what you're saying, because it can feel that they are 2 separate things when really a religion is from spirit, depending on how you've been taught. So I'll just leave it to that. Are you finding that even the teachers need their own retreats? Because it's been an exhausting time, and it can be kind of exhausting being a light worker and helping people. So do you have the facilitators retreats as well?
Oh, absolutely. And people can create their own retreats. So a lot of people might come with 6 or 7 people, and then we take them to the various spiritual sites, because we've also got Archangel Michael's Cave, which is, again, amazing.
Well, tell us about that.
We've got so much stuff.
I didn't think we were finished. I'm looking at the clock. No, we're not done.
So basically, there's this little village in the hills, and it's got this beautiful castle. And above the castle, there is this cave. It's called Archangel Michael's Cave. And there's actually 3 or 4 different caves, and apparently they're on a ley line. Mm-hmm. So they're all connected with each other.
Right. Dragon lines, ley lines. These are essentially energy portals, or how would you like to describe what the ley lines are?
Well, I don't really know.
Okay. Well, we'll save that for another conversation, but just know that there's a grid work around the planet and around the universe, and it can feel it's very energetic. So go ahead and tell us more about this cave.
It's connected with another Archangel Michael's cave, which is down near Bari, which is very spiritual. I've actually been there as well, which is amazing.
Right.
And it was very interesting because the first time I actually went there, I went there with my shaman friend. And as we passed basically you walk out of the village at the top, and it's all on this really sort of steep hill. And there was these 2 people who we passed, and the lady said to me, "Oh, where are you going?" I said, "Oh, we're going to Archangel Michael's cave." Mm-hmm. And she says, "Oh, okay, have a good time," sort of thing. But it was really weird energy, and she was looking at me in this really strange way. And anyway, so off we went up, and you go up and up and up and up and up. And anyway, at a certain point, we started feeling this real energy. I said we didn't know where it was, and we thought, oh gosh, we're definitely near, because it was really, really big. And anyway, we went round the side of this big rock, and there's this amazing cave. And this was sort of nearer the beginning of my spiritual awakening, and I couldn't see these things then. And the shaman was just saying, "Oh my God, look at the portal, isn't it brilliant?" But even at that stage, I could actually see some of the spirits coming round the rock and going up. I didn't know where they were going because I couldn't see the portal, but I actually saw them coming round the rock.
Wow.
So, and he said it was the best experience that he'd had actually in the physical world that he'd ever had. So it was really gorgeous. So he went that. Anyway, we come down, because I've got to tell you this because it was really interesting. Mm-hmm. So the lady saw me on the way down. She says, "Oh, what did you think of the cave?" I said, "Well, it's beautiful, but it's not beautiful. The actual cave itself was not beautiful, and they've got a whole load of crappy bits and things in there.
Little tchotchkes and things.
Yes, okay. Things that are just, if you went in there and you weren't spiritual, you would think, oh, what a waste of time. But the actual energies and the experience right. there was, so what I meant was, obviously, it's really beautiful, the energy, and it's really sort of crap, the decoration.
You gotta excuse people their crap.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Exactly.
So anyway, she looked at me, and it sort of like time stood still, and she said, "Oh, yes, you understand." And I understood by that she was one of the gatekeepers. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Fantastic. We could talk for a very, very long time. And is there anyone else, any other tidbit that you'd like to mention during this particular? We might have a part 1, 2, and 3. So for today.
Not really, just if anybody is drawn to reach out, please do so. Obviously, I think you'll be giving out the website with the Nepal travel, which would be really great if some people can join. That would be lovely. And
and otherwise the Visionary Village
is obviously always needing investors. So.
And people to feel called to go and experience
That's the most important thing. Yeah, you need to be able, you need to sort of feel that this is for you. It's not about, okay, let's get in the money and stuff like that. It's all about, is this, the right thing for you?
Right.
Is this, what you feel called to be?
Exactly. And is this is going to feed you in some form or another.
Oh, yes, because as you know, in spirituality, it's never a one-way street. It's always a two-way.
That's the currency.
Yeah.
That's the currency.
And you get it back in spades. It's there. It's so wonderful. And also, last thing, when you do meditations at our place, often Mother Mary comes. And most people, I would say maybe about 80% have seen her. So it's a really thing. And my friend who was religious, she was the day after, she was reading her Bible in front of the window. She looks up and there's Mother Mary standing outside the window. So she rushes, gets her camera, because again, that's what you do when you see Mother Mary. You rush and get your your cell phone. So she rushes out to take a photo of Mother Mary, but Mother Mary doesn't appear on camera.
Well, of course not.
But I just thought it was quite funny.
You have to feel her.
I know. Well, apparently she saw her as well, so that was really cool.
That's very cool. And of course, cue the Beatles song, Mother Mary Comes to Me.
Yeah, and she did.
And she does. And she does. So, and the energy between us right now is, it's beautiful. It's lovely. Nikki, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, the kismet and the divine timing that has aligned the studio time, that you're here from a different ocean. It's nothing short of perfection. So thank you again. And thank you for listening. Please make sure to follow, like, review, share this podcast with friends. And if you'd like to be part of the conversation, send emails to podcasts@lastingconversations.com and find us on Facebook. This is Lasting Conversations. We get to the heart of everything.